Hello, and welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business, sidestep all the crazy things that I seem to be stepping on. It is Friday, the 29th of April, and I'm excited to be talking to you today about a topic that I definitely take for granted now because I've been doing it for so long, and that is acoustical treatment. We're going to be talking about acoustical treatment and how you should be setting up your studio. For me, when I first started, I had what I called a hobo fort, which was I got packing blankets and PVC pipe, and it's a lot of us either start that way or we start in a closet, right? Which are fantastic because basically what I've built here, are two closets. You know what I mean? I mean they're nice, they're nice closets, but they're closets. Nonetheless, they're enclosed spaces. And then once we have that space, whether it's a closet or a hobo fort, something that you erect on your own, with PVC pipe or whatever, or you build it, we have to treat it. And I think a lot of times, and I know it was with me, I didn't understand when I first started how to really treat things properly. Okay, how to treat my space properly. So what happened is that I was constantly doing more editing, more work on the back end after I recorded things, because I couldn't get the sound quite right. There was always some issue with it, right? I was always trying to get out that extra reverb or those extra noises. You know what I mean? And it was just a constant battle for me. And it took me a lot longer to finish products or projects, which means it took me, I means I couldn't do as much work and meaning I couldn't make as much money. And I mean, so that's why I wanted to talk to you about this today, because there's so many reasons, or there's so many things for us to focus on when we first start our business, or we're even redoing a space or whatever, like I've done here. Because I've redone my space now multiple times. Not here. This is the first time here, but in my others, when I first started, I had the hobo fort, which was in the middle of a room, which is like the worst thing. And then I moved to another house where I put I redid the hobo fort again and reinforced it 20 times over. And then I bought a whisper room and then learned about the whisper room. Just because you buy a whisper room, you still have to treat the whisper room, because the whisper room is just like a portable closet, right? So it still has really bad reverb inside until you treat the inside of a whisper room. And then here, where I have my editing space here, which this foam and everything is going to start going over the walls, but inside here, over here, inside here, is my space, and I put up a video. I'll put up a video at the end of this video so you can actually see what's inside. Okay, there, because I think you'll really like it. It'll be really educational too to see how I've set that up now. But getting back to the treatment and how you should do it, I'm the firm believer now that you want to over treat your space, not undertreat it. When I first started, I had one set of blankets, right? Just one set of blankets that went all the way around and one on the top, right? And for the longest time, that's what I had. And that was not nearly enough. Okay. Then I realized I needed more, right? So I added another set. And that still wasn't enough, right? I was, all these things were happening, right? My voice, it was too bassy. There was still echoey, but it was on the low end. So the lower frequencies I was having issues with, right? Especially the deeper and stuff I was talking. And I had to really dive in, to learning why was I having these issues. I thought I treated things correctly, but the reality is I had not done enough. So basically, at the end, before I had gotten my whisper room, and I learned a thing or two, and kept adding and adding and adding. I mean, I had before my hobo fort, I got the whisper room. I ended up literally with about 6 to 8 layers of blankets, and then inside the hobo fort, I had more blankets that were folded and over the sides because I had sides, I had sidebars too, or sidebars, but PVC pipe, right? So I had them folded over the sides. I had pillows and more blankets shoved in the corners everywhere, all the way around. I had a bunch of foam blankets hanging more so right in front of me because the most important part um, that you have are the places where you should treat the most are in front of you and behind you. But it's also important to note the placement of your screen or whatever that you're using, right? Because like right here, I'm talking, the screen is right in front of me. Okay, in my booth, you'll see at the end of this video where I'm going to show you the video of the booth, you're going to see that I did something different. Always in the past, I had the screen right in front of me, which means that when I talk, because I have a 27-inch screen, so it's a big screen. So when I talk, it's going to hit that screen and go behind me and then come back. So I was always, no matter what I put in front of me, I was always having issues. But I realized, it's funny as you grow, right? You learn little things like this. So I mounted, you'll see in there, my screen higher so that I actually, when I talk, I can look up at the screen, right? And it keeps my head up. That's important because a lot of times your head goes down, that affects your voiceovers. So you want your head up, right? So keeping my head up, I can look up, but right in front of me is all treatment, right? Right here in front of my mouth. So when I'm talking, it's actually going in and being absorbed by all of my treatment that I have instead of hitting this massive screen and then bouncing back and then coming back, because then you got to have the treatment really well behind you. So the ideal thing would be to have something in front of you that stops all of that or absorbs most of it so that you don't get so much of a bounce. But I didn't learn that until later. And a lot of us don't necessarily have the ability to mount something. You know what I mean? So it's just something to think about. In the previous hobo fort the hobo fort I had before I got to the whisper room, I still had the screen in front of me, but I had so much treatment up that, it absorbed my voice, right? Because if it bounced here and it bounced over there and everywhere, when your voice is bouncing around the sound waves, it just absorbed it because I had so much in there. And what I found is that the more treatment I had too, the better my space sounded, the less work I had to do editing. So it's really important to really treat, and when you think you've treated your space, treat it 3 times more. Okay? Remember, we're not musicians where we want room tone. We don't want that. We want a completely dead space. Now, a lot of times, like foam wise, there's foam out there that costs way more than other form, like Oralex and all these different types of really thick foam. And quite honestly, these types of foam that I have here, this is 12 by 12 by 2 inches, and it's got these ridges here, and I like these. However, in an ideal world, if I had like tons of money, I would get 4 inches out, you know what I mean? But the 4-inch ones are way more expensive and they're way longer to get, you know what I mean? Because the idea is that the waves go in here and hit it and they bounce, 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 and it's supposed to diffuse it. Of course, the bigger it is, right? Which is they're called, like, what is it? Is it ISO? Not isometric, but something like that. There's chambers, right? That have these big pieces of foam, right? That block that you're supposed to go in and it's like completely. There's no reverb. It's just it can drive people crazy, they claim. Anyways, the point is that in my booth, I use these, but these are part of the end of the insulation, the acoustical treatment. They're not the main part. The main part of the treatment is insulation. I'm using rock wool, about 3 to 4 inches thick of rock wool, all in my booth. Then I have bass traps. Those are thicker pieces. They're thicker pieces that go up, which is like this right here. So like this. See these? So these are bass traps, and they basically go into the corner, right? They run around the corners, like back there in that corner going up and down. They run in the corner of them. They go on the ceiling, you know what I mean? So that these, and these are thicker, because you got the corners of your spaces, the corners on the floor, the corners in the ceiling, all the corners, whether they're, that's where you get a lot of bounce and reverb. So stopping that is important. So I have these all throughout there. I'm gonna put these up here around in this place as well. I have some thicker ones too, and so angles. The more ways that you can diffuse your space, meaning like the more angles there are, like booths that are 5, 6, but like 5, not an even 4 are good, unless you have like what I have in there, which I have so much acoustical treatment in there that it's just, I mean, I can even leave my door semi-open and it sounds really good. You know what I mean? And I'm going to show you that again at the end of this. So anyways, the point I'm trying to make to you is that the part of these that I have here, it is for acoustical treatment, right? Because that'll be in here, but it's also for me, it's aesthetics, because I'm gonna put these up and it's gonna look good as well. You know what I mean? Part because we live in these things. We live here. Or I live here, right? I mean, like I live all day. Like this is my workspace, so I also want it to look good. You know what I mean? But it also has to sound good. And for me out here, I still do editing. I record these videos and things like that. So I do want, as right now, you can hear how echoey it is, right? But when I get all this stuff up in here, it will sound a lot better. Now, it's not going to sound as good as inside my booth because I don't have all of that extra thick insulation. But if you're going to, either A, go the less expensive route, which would be, just uh, getting all of the blankets, all the clothes you can, the pillows, all the extra stuff that no one's using in your house, and shove it in your booth, that's the way to do it. That's what I did for years. And then if you want to do a little sleeker or more aesthetically pleasing, see, I didn't care because I wasn't doing any video. Now I do videos and stuff, and it's important that it also looks good, right, as well for people watching the videos. I don't want people having to watch me in a crappy environment, okay? Crappy looking environment, because we know though, and that's the point I'm trying to make, is that even though our studios or our booths might look little crazy, little shoddy, they actually sound amazing, right? And that's what the main part here is, that they sound amazing, and with that kind of stuff they will sound amazing. So don't stress about the look of it, you know what I mean, until you're ready to be showing people your booth and stuff. But I didn't worry about that for years because I wasn't showing anybody. I just wanted to sound good. So listen, I hope this helps. Thanks for watching as long. I'm going to show you now a quick video of what I've done in the booth, so you can check that out. And make sure you leave some comments below and what you think. And also, we're running a big special right now for the VO's Journey Elite Academy. All right, Monday through Friday classes on marketing, on tech, on voice acting, business systems, all kinds of stuff to help you start and grow your voiceover business no matter where you are. It's for everybody. We're running half off the first month. There'll be a link below to check that out. All right, and enjoy the video of my new booth. All right, thank you guys. Bye-bye. All right, gang. Well, here we are. We are in the room you just watched me talking, and now we're gonna go into the booth. All right, and I'm pretty excited to show you this. I want to make sure, yeah, so let me see. Okay, so here, all right, here is the booth. So let's go in here and get this checked out. All right, so you can tell right off the bat I've done a lot of work. Let's go ahead and shut this door. And I also got some room on this door as well. So I've done a lot of work in here. All right, and you can kind of see, and so I've mounted the TV, okay, and basically, the TV links to to the computer, and basically, let's see if it's actually, yeah. So you can see that the thing is on right now, for the subscribe button there, or not this, but the camera for the other thing is on because I just recorded the other video. And, so I've got the TV mounted. So here I've got wireless mouse and keyboard that allows me to control everything. I've got my microphone and also my headphones, right, are here, and they all go down through the bottom there, through a hole that goes out there that hooks onto my computer. All right, but the important thing, what I was trying to tell you is that here, when I stand here, okay, and I talk, it's going straight into this, and this actually foam is you can tell this is a lot thicker. This is the most thick or the thickest foam that I have here, these bass traps. And when I talk, it just goes into them, it absorbs them, right? That's a big part. Before, I always had the screen down right smack in front of my face, and that meant that anytime I talked, it would always bounce off that and go back that way. You know what I mean? So it always had an issue. But here I wanted to have it mounted a little bit. I can still see the screen really well by looking up. All right, but I can talk and it's going forward here. So I really get good sound absorption there. Also, it's important to note, like up here, what I'm doing up here is I found that the angles, making sure there's lots of areas for sound to bounce around and get trapped is really important. Okay, so these traps are actually thicker traps than the ones out there. And then you can see through here, these are the other traps that I'm going to put out there, right? So I've just basically, now you can tell back here, I still have some more stuff. That foam came in. I haven't had a chance to put it all up yet, but I'm going to back there. Now you could tell with the light back here, let's see, let me get up, I'm going to open the shutter some here, that, when we set this up originally, I didn't originally plan on having this, this extra space. I planned on it being from the door over, but I wanted to add this space because I figured I could add a chair in there. I could add another like monitor maybe over here that I could then record sitting down or something. But the space in here sounds so good that let me get that out of there. Yeah, sounds so good. It makes me, because of this light in here, it makes me look so angelic. But anyways, so yeah, so this is the space, and it works fantastic. I just literally mounted this on some studs with some metal L brackets. This is a TV mount, and I actually got a TV this time instead of a monitor. This is 32 inches instead of 27, which I had last time. So that's bigger. And yeah, so you can tell this is the space, and I absolutely love it. I did put these on the door to give some extra room there. And, when you come out here, you can already tell the quite difference. Now, this is open. So if I shut, this is the house. And then our stuff, we started getting some stuff in. The cabinets are not going to be in until June. But yeah, we are at a place where we're going to start hopefully moving in sometime this weekend. But if I shut this door, all right, you can kind of get an idea of how everything looks here, right? So this space, and then we have this space. Now, an important part I didn't talk about is the carpet. Every house I've ever had before, I've always had hardwood on the floors, and I've had to put carpet on top of it. But I wanted to make sure I had carpet padding underneath, a nice fluffy carpet. So that's what I got, nice carpet. And that's a big deal too, right? It's having that carpet and that extra absorption as well. Well, thank you guys again. And there's the master booth. And I'm looking forward to doing a lot of voiceover work in there. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, please hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to check out Avio's Journey Elite Academy and the special we're running. All right, guys, you have a great weekend. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye. Goodbye.